Okay, there you go, see? Got laughs anyways. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming to this year's State of the Township breakfast. My name is David Brenneman, and I'm the proud Chief Administrative Officer for the Township of Woolwich. It's great to be back in person following the pandemic to have such important events like this, where we can get together, talk about the state of the township, and just have great network and team building. At this time, I'd like to start off by recognizing the political dignitaries that have joined us today. I'd like to recognize Karen Redman, Regional Chair, Jim Erb, Regional Councillor, Mayor of Kitchener, Barry Verbanovic, Councillor from the City of Kitchener, Dave Schneider, Mayor of the City of Waterloo, Dorothy McCabe, Councillor for the City of Waterloo, Diane Freeman, Councillor for the City of Waterloo, Sandra Hamner, and Councillor for the City of Waterloo, Julie Wright. As well, I'd like to recognize the Mayor of North Dumfries, Sue Foxton. I'd also like to recognize the Mayor of Wellesley, Joe Nowak, and the Mayor of Wilmot, Natasha Salonen. As well, it's my pleasure to introduce Woolwich Council. We have here today with us Councillor Evan Burgess, Councillor Nathan Cadeau, Councillor Eric Schwint, and Councillor Kayla Grant. As well, I'd also like to recognize the Mayor of the City of Cambridge, Jan Leggett. And also, I would like to recognize from the Waterloo Region District School Board, Kathleen Woodcock. And I would also like to take a minute, considering the unfortunate events that happened with the passing of Fred Meisner, if we could take a minute and just have a moment of silence to reflect on Fred's passing. It was very unfortunate to see that sad news, but it reminds us of just how fragile life can be. So just take a moment, please, to reflect on his life. Thank you very much. So I'd like to say thank you to each and every one of the wonderful people that are in this room for your support here today. I know Mayor Shantz appreciates all of you being here. And I'd also like to give a really great big shout out, because none of this would be possible as well without our generous sponsors today. You see them on the screen, but I'd like to give a big shout out to Conestoga Contracting. Unfortunately, the representatives are busy elsewhere today and unfortunately couldn't join us, and we knew that might happen. But I'd also like to recognize the folks from Jocelyn Insurance that are with us today. Thank you. As well from Conestoga Meats and also from Cribbett Seats. Thank you very much. And I'm pleased to be able to report that due to the support in the room, but especially from our generous sponsors, we were able to donate over $2,500 to the good work that the Woolwich Community Health Centre does for our community. Thank you. And with that, I'd like to now call on Rosalind Bentley, the Executive Director from the Woolwich Community Health Centre, to just tell a little bit about the great work that's being done there. And Rosalind, please come and join us. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for this opportunity. We are always so grateful for the support from the community, Mayor Shantz especially, and the Township of Woolwich. The Woolwich Community Health Centre is delighted to have been serving this community for 39 years, and I know I'm hoping to go to the Community Living 60-year celebration at the weekend, so we're not the longest serving community organisation locally, but we certainly have deep, deep roots, and we're incredibly grateful for the support. It has been a very difficult few years in healthcare, as you know, and we have been delighted to remain open throughout that time, albeit somewhat constrained and letting people in one at a time, wearing masks. So it's very, very wonderful to be here this morning and see all your smiling faces, and to receive this wonderful news about the donation towards our support. So we offer primary care, family doctors, nurse practitioners, and a multidisciplinary team to provide care support to people, both chronic, before diseases develop, and when obviously people have injuries and ongoing illnesses, and we're able to look after people. So we really see ourselves as that bedrock of initial healthcare that prevents people from needing the emergency department and helps keep people working and living in our community. So we are delighted to say that we've been extremely successful. We have some of the lowest emergency visiting rates. Typical rural folk, we do not like to go to the doctors very often, but we are keeping people healthy, and that is not the only definition of health that we provide support to. As a community health centre, we are very committed to working with the community to ensure that wellness is not just an absence of disease. We work closely with our colleagues I see in the room here, Community Care Concepts, Woolwich Community Services, Woolwich Counselling Centre, and we are just delighted to be part of that social and health fabric that keeps the community well. We've also worked with the grassroots organisation Woolwich Healthy Communities for many, many years, over 20 years, and they have done environmental work and other political activities within our community. So we were very proud last year to start a very important project, and I just, of course, want to give a shout out to Clint Raw, the former Executive Director of the Woolwich Community Health Centre, who, as usual, had his heart tugged by the state of the Ukrainian condition. And we started with Woolwich Healthy Communities, a guest house in St Jacobs that has been going from strength to strength. We've looked over 70 people in that facility in the year. We will be closing down in July, but we are continuing to support the Merry Hill Guest House. And I have just been so incredibly pleased to see how much support we have received from many of you in this room, and of course many across the township. So that is the kind of project that the Community Health Centre has been active in being involved in, and will continue to do so. So we are very, very pleased to receive this funding this morning, and it will go towards our fund that we use to support people who don't have the funding for OHIP services, or who need assistance like for transportation and a little bit of additional support. That fund we have had grow from strength to strength over the years, and we just incredibly appreciate the very warm wishes and the kindness of this incredible community. So thank you very much. I was told to be on time, so I will do that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rosalind. I want to take this time to mention that, you know, there's a lot of great life lessons and learning and growth that came out of the pandemic, and one of the amazing journeys that we went on as 4 townships, along with all of our community support agencies, was meeting on a regular basis every month to support one another through the pandemic. And now, getting out the other side of the pandemic, you know, we still continue to meet and talk about like-minded issues where we can support one another and advance rural issues in the area of everything from affordable housing to mental health, transportation. You know, some great work can really happen when you bring various agencies, government together, and in a collaborative way work together. So it's quite amazing work that all of our community support agencies do, but thank you very much to the Woolwich Community Health Centre for all you do. And with that, it's my absolute pleasure to introduce Mayor Shantz today to deliver the State of the Township address. Mayor.
Thank you, David. Good morning and welcome. It's so good to see so many people in person. I think we all kind of miss this kind of personal interaction and talking over a coffee and some food. I want to begin by acknowledging that the original people who lived here were called the Chinootan, or the Adirondron, or the Neutral people. They were followed by different combinations of First Nations known as the Anishinaabe and Haudenosaunee. From them, we learn the importance of respecting and protecting our flora and fauna and the land that sustains us all. Reconciliation is about working to repair relationships that have been badly damaged through the course of settlement and colonialism. The work we do here, if done well and applied broadly, will create a community that supports and values all its members. Okay. So who are we? Well, we are towns that are growing. We are businesses that are changing. We are communities that are unique. We are families with diverse backgrounds. We are young, we are old, we are in between. We are connected, or we're trying to be connected. We are part of something bigger than ourselves, and we are changing. Today, the township is home to people from across the globe, from every continent. Excuse me. We are rural and urban. We have farms that rely on 21st century technology to monitor their cattle, to GPS to help plant crops, and alongside them are farms who rely on the power of their horses. We have high-tech international companies, many evolving from agricultural and rural roots. We have manufacturing and skilled trades successful on the international and local stage, along with many supporting industries. Many of our businesses also rely on tourism. We are engaged and concerned with the environment, whether it's our water supply, our trail infrastructure, or planting trees. We want to meet our 80 by 50 and 50 by 30 goals to ensure we leave a healthy place for our children, our grandchildren, and for generations to come. We have the largest footprint in the region and are home to about 28,000 people, and that will be increasing rapidly in the next 30 years. We have been the fastest growing municipality in the region by percent, which is exciting but creates identity challenges. Our task is to position ourselves to create opportunities to grow our communities and help them keep connected to each other and within themselves. And I think I can speak for all the townships when I say that our greatest strength and our greatest challenge is that each town, each village, each hamlet are all unique and make important contributions to who we are and how we move forward. That was my rural colleagues, I think, that started that. Thank you. It's good to know that you agree with me. As towns and as townships, we rely on collaboration. Working together, we can pool resources and maintain our own unique identities. It works well for us, and if I can say, it has been one of the positives coming out of the pandemic. And David already spoke a little bit to the Rural Collaborative that works together and deals with important issues like affordable housing, health and wellness, transit, and rural broadband. In a recent survey done by our Economic Development and Tourism Department, over 70% of the respondents rated Woolwich as a good or excellent place to do business. And I think that's a good result. We're going to try to make that higher, but we're happy with that. And what business might that cover, you might ask? Our largest employers are in manufacturing, retail trade, and construction. Our strength is in our entrepreneurs and small and mid-sized businesses. Even our largest employers, like Home Hardware and Conestoga Meats, began as small businesses with a vision. The majority of our businesses are in agriculture, tourism, real estate, construction, and finance. While construction and tourism are still struggling to recover from the pandemic, agriculture, manufacturing, and healthcare have mostly reported a return to pre-pandemic levels. And 38% of our businesses are thinking of expanding, so we look forward to that. We have a long history of working together, stemming from our rural roots. I've already mentioned, and David also mentioned, the Rural Township Collaborative. The 4 township mayors, our CAOs, meet quarterly, along with our MPP, Mike Harris. We also have regular touch points with our MP, Tim Lewis. Working together and alongside colleagues from other regional municipalities, we're part of the Reconciliation Action Partnership, which is beginning a long journey of listening, learning, and committing to the advancement of truth and reconciliation at the regional level. Development is a hot topic these days. Staff from Woolwich and Wilmot meet with members of the development industry to collaborate on improving approval processes. They call themselves the Woolwich-Wilmot Development Liaison Committee. Kind of makes sense, doesn't it? We do have a long list of collaborations, but I did promise to keep this to about 20 minutes, and I want to get you out of here on time, so you'll have to do a quick read of the slide yourself. I'm not going to read them all. Okay, we can't talk about planning without acknowledging at least one elephant in the room. How will planning work with the recent provincial changes? I don't know. That might be an answer for next year, we'll see. With the region removed from the planning process, we need to lean into and nurture our strong relationships with other local area municipalities to preserve the vision we have developed together, including maintaining our countryside line and continuing to value our agricultural lands. The new provincial policy statement will replace and combine both the 2020 PPS and a Place to Grow plan. The intent is to increase housing supply, and I think we can all agree that that is a necessary outcome. We know that we need a continuum of housing, from affordable and attainable to places for seniors who want to downsize, and also houses for families. There's a whole continuum that needs to fall into place so that we can solve this problem. We're still figuring out the best way to coordinate our collective planning and share the expertise that was previously housed at the region or GRCA. Woolwich has been proud of its managed, staged, and sustainable growth. It takes time to foster an integrated and healthy community where everyone feels like they belong, like they're connected. It also takes time for the services, programs, facilities, and infrastructure that support community development to catch up. With the adoption of Bill 23, Bill 109, and the regional official plan that was recently approved by the province with added development lands, the landscape in Woolwich will drastically change. As you can see, our population will increase by 78% and employment by 103%. By 2051. That's less than 30 years. About 5,000 acres will be available for development. Much of that, about 80%, will be centered in the southeast in and around Breslau. Breslau is designated as urban, while St. Jacobs and Elmira are designated rural urban. That means Breslau will develop more like the cities with greater intensification. And herein lies the challenge. Breslau has a beautiful community center and parkland, and we're working to enhance the infrastructure there. In due course, it will be larger than Elmira, and if we are to provide 15-minute communities, it will need more in the way of retail, services, programs, facilities, and recreational infrastructure. Despite all of this, we remain proud of our ongoing efforts to preserve agricultural land and natural environmental areas while supporting intensification and affordable housing and opportunities for employment growth. In 2022, the Township completed an Elmira Core Urban Design Study to guide the development of the Elmira downtown area. While it will need to be implemented by private development and in a phased manner, it provides a vision for what the downtown could be. We have begun our official plan review for the Township, which will be a key to implementing and integrating provincial objectives with our own vision. And of course, this will mean policies related to climate action, housing, employment, and protection of agricultural and environmental land. Recreation is an important part of creating community together, and with the help of MPG Planning Solutions, we are undertaking a long-term plan for parks and recreation to accommodate the proposed growth and identify recreation needs. And we'd be foolish to think we're wise enough to do this all on our own, and we're not foolish. These are your communities, and we will be looking for input from you for a number of initiatives in the coming year. Flowing out of the official plan review, we will be completing 4 other major planning processes: the active transportation plan, the recreation master plan, zoning bylaw review, and the strategic plan. And shortly you will hear more about each of these and our strategic plan process, which will set the direction for the next 10 years. With the help of a facilitator, we will reach out to communities, businesses, support agencies, and other stakeholders. Please add your voice to the process. And okay, I can see everyone's eyes glazing over at the thought of sitting through official plan or strategic planning sessions, and I see my staff chuckling. It doesn't have to be so. Willits joined the region and the cities in an online engagement platform called Engage WR. Through this site, you can give us your input on your time and from the comfort of your own home. Did I sell that well? Yeah. Keep your eyes peeled for opportunities to give us your input and consider joining us for in-person discussions when you can. In 2021, Council endorsed an implementation plan which included actions to support affordable, accessible, and attainable housing. The plan gave direction to work with the region of Waterloo to develop solutions and opportunities, to require a mix and range of unit types in new subdivisions and work with the development community to provide affordable units, to consult with community support agencies, local builders, seniors, churches, and other groups to identify solutions, and to advocate for transit in Breslau and active transportation facilities throughout. Beyond Housing, formerly Menno Homes, was successful in a recent RFP process to provide an affordable housing development on the site of the former Kiwanis House, which is right next door to this building. And we're looking forward to getting that going. Bill 23 requires development charge exemptions for affordable housing units. We've been doing that here in the township since July 2019, so once again, we feel like we're ahead of the game. Our new zoning bylaw and official plan will support or require additional affordable housing by promoting accessory dwelling units, requiring a mix and range of unit types, and also affordable units. Out with the old and in with the new. The relatively new settlement plan that was to guide growth in Breslau will need to be revised in light of the extensive expansion of the settlement boundaries in the official plan. You might think it would be easy to just open new lands, but that is far from the case. Our water and wastewater services travel through pipes that originate in the cities. Our staff continue to work with the region and adjacent municipalities as we plan for service upgrades and cross-border servicing arrangements that ensure sufficient capacity and efficiency for our residents and businesses. The region of Waterloo has been working with the township and the province as we plan for a potential future GO station in Breslau. Stay tuned on that one. As business at the airport increases, the Regional Airport Master Plan the Regional Airport Master Plan outlines triggers for increased capacity. We need to be nimble so we can quickly take advantage of opportunities in a very competitive industry. The township, in coordination with the region, plans to expand and enhance library services in the Breslau Community Center through the dedicated use of the lower level. So we have time to consult residents about a more permanent facility. And I know Breslau is looking forward to having an official library. The region will provide for more regular library hours and additional expanded programming. Look for opportunities to provide feedback on the library space. So just if you don't know, the library is run by the region and the township provides the space for it, so that's sort of how it works in the rural areas. Due to the perseverance of the reinvigorated Breslau Community Fundraising Group, plans are underway for the installation of a new splash pad in Breslau in 2023. Fundraising efforts have exceeded the funding goal of $300,000, and the group will be working closely with the township to bring this exciting and welcome addition to the residents of Breslau. With changing demographics, our faces, lives, interests, and personalities as community are changing. We recognize moving toward a more equitable, diverse, and inclusive community where everyone feels they belong is a journey. And we're only on the start of that journey. However, we've taken an organic step forward this year by working intentionally with our community partners. New festivals and events supported by the township aim to promote diversity and understanding in the community. You won't want to miss Woolwich Pride on June 17th and Hope Multicultural Festival on September 9th. Bring on the Sunshine is a not-for-profit organization that brings people together to celebrate and support people of African and Caribbean descent here in Canada. Funding for these events was possible in part due to a new EDIB grant created by Council in the 2023 budget. If you or someone you know is planning an initiative that supports equity, diversity, inclusion, and belonging in our community, there is still more than $4,000 remaining in that budget line. We have also formed a 2S LGBTQ+ ad hoc working group to get feedback from the community on how we can best recognize, support, and foster inclusion in our community. I'm excited about the opportunities to celebrate all our differences. And I'm thankful for the residents who put their time and resources into community events such as the Neruda Arts Festivals, Three Sisters events, and Abby Cooper's Hope Equity workshops, and even the celebration of diverse culture and food that come together for the Maple Syrup Festival. I look forward to similar organic evolution of events in some of our other unique settlements. And there are many ways for our communities to be connected and inclusive together. The township continues to work toward the commitment of reducing greenhouse gas emissions by 80% by 2050 and 50% by 2030, which, as I said, is only 7 years away. Through the support of our many volunteer associations and committees, incorporation of greener building standards into both projects and planning, tree planting, and climate action awareness. Through the efforts of local volunteers and with the support from Earthscape, our nature reserve and the habitats have received a Landscape Ontario Award of Excellence in 2023. Thanks to our Township of Woolwich Environmental Enhancement Committee and Trees for Woolwich. The group has now embarked on an ambitious rural roadside tree planting project, Ontario's largest initiative of this size since 1890. I got that right, that's 1890. And along with this initiative, the group continues to work with private landowners, businesses at the Township, GRCA, and more on tree planting each and every year to both reduce greenhouse gas emissions and increase the Township tree canopy. Excuse me. Many thanks to Innova Energy, who donates $50,000 each year for tree planting in each municipality, including Woolwich. In addition to supporting these tree planting efforts, the Township contributes $190,000 annually to Township projects that address greenhouse gas emissions, including our newly formed Woolwich Climate Actions events, which are being held monthly and include everything from net zero home tours to electric vehicle car shows. So watch for these and check some of them out. The newly minted Woolwich Environmental Advisory Committee was established to protect, maintain, and enhance the natural environment and ensure climate protection and sustainability. This council is committed to working alongside our environmental champions to improve our township. This one's for my police friends in the back here. One of the most frequent complaints we get is about road safety. We have added signage to remind people to drive respectfully. We have purchased speed signs and trailers. We made both available to individuals and communities to purchase for their own use. We are advocating for more widespread use of automated speed enforcement. It is currently available only for community safety zones and school zones, and is limited by the type of penalty that we can apply. We just discussed that at the region as well, and we're looking at increasing, moving forward, the allotments that we had planned for 2024 into 2023. I think I got that right, Karen? Where are you? So we want to move that ahead and try to make our roads safer. Our CAO, David, meets regularly with Inspector Lewis, who oversees the rural division, to discuss areas of concern within the township. And there is so much more that could be said, but in the interest of time, I simply remind everyone to drive safely and respectfully and pay attention to others on the roadway, and especially to children who are playing nearby. In addition to the work on the township's active transportation plan, the Region of Waterloo has started the environmental assessment process for an Elmira bypass to direct north and southbound truck traffic away from the downtown so we can successfully implement our downtown core area study. We're anxiously awaiting the results of their research, which are expected next year. The township has completed the environmental assessment for a new connector road between West Breslau and East Breslau. The process evaluated alternative solutions for transportation infrastructure to provide an east-west connection from Fountain Street to Greenhouse Road. And again, we're going to have to look at the whole Breslau area in light of the changes to the official plan. The on-demand transit pilot in Breslau will continue till the end of 2023. If there's people from Breslau here, I hope you're using it. This is an on-demand bus, so it can change its route based on requested pickups and drop-offs, and we're hoping that the ridership will increase. And we are eternally optimistic about the province's plans to build a new Highway 7. So who are we? Our many events and activities, from festivals and workshops to a nature reserve and tree planting to fundraising for a splash pad, would not happen without our volunteers. Our service clubs, our social agencies, and places of worship all rely on people sharing their time and talents with the rest of the community. We are a community that is rapidly growing and progressive, as well as traditional, with deep roots and theology. We welcome new residents from around the globe, as we remember our ancestors also came from away. I am encouraged by our newer neighbors who are stepping up to volunteer their time and talents. And I have to add this in here because I took it out earlier. The census showed that we have 14 different languages that are spoken in the township as first language in the homes, and that shows how the township has changed over the years. We are a community that cares. We care about climate change. We care about the environment. We care about our roads. We care about our work. We care about housing for everyone. But mostly, we care about each other and ensuring that everyone belongs. We are #Woolwich Proud. I just want to highlight 3 events that are coming up. We have an emergency preparedness open house on May 18th. That's coming up very shortly if you get a chance to take it in. It's always interesting to see and speak to our EMS folks. In 2023, that's this year, later this year, we have a training camp for the Canadian-US Para-Hockey Tournament, and we've had a number of para-hockey events that we've hosted here. When we built the Woolwich Memorial Centre, that was an intentional addition that it would be accessible for para-hockey. And in 2025, we are part of the group that is hosting the University Women's Hockey National Championship, along with the City of Waterloo. Once again, a big thank you to our sponsors, Conestoga Contracting, Conestoga Meats, Cribbett Seeds, and Jocelyn Insurance. We couldn't do this without you, so thank you.